All of your focus is subconsciously driven. We think we are so free and that we have so much control in our life. The truth is that almost everything that goes on in our life, our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, is driven by our subconscious mind, and so is our focus. And focus is really the number one driver to your results. Wherever your focus goes, your time and energy also flows. You can only focus on one thing at the time. You want to be productive and get stuff done. It is important that your focus is on whatever you want to do, right? And if your focus is somewhere else, you're not going to be able to do what you're planning on doing. When I think about focus, I like to picture it like a spotlight coming down, and where the spotlight hits, that is where the focus goes. And you can't be in two spotlights at the same time. You can't focus on two things at the same time. Your mind can only have your focus on one thing at the time. Of course, when speaking of multitasking, people are like, okay, it's impossible. And some people say it's possible. What is really the truth? The truth is that you can do some automated behaviors at the same time as you're doing some work that requires your concentration, your focus. Let's say you can go for a walk, you can drive a car, or you can do the dishes while you're having a conversation, while you're thinking smart thoughts, okay? So you can do some stuff at the same time as long as it is automated. Whenever we're going into thought processes that require more presence, you can only focus on one thing at a time. So the number one thing you need to do in order to be more productive, get better results, is to train yourself to focus on the things that are actually driving you towards your goals and stopping the focus that is just drifting off into everything else. And this is where the main problem lies with most people. Our thoughts, our focus just wanders off to everything that is not related and that is not driving us towards our goals, right? Is that you as well? I know, I was there for so many years. Now, listen up. There are two main things we're focusing on. Two main things our subconscious mind is focusing on. Number one, it's your positive drivers, your values, your vision, your passions, everything you're good at, everything you love doing. If you take a look at your values, when you elicit your values and get them on a list, you'll easily see that the things on your list is really where your focus goes. You automatically allocate more time to what is on your values list than the other stuff in your life. We can't be doing everything that is possible to do in this lifetime, right? There are so many options, there's so much choice, and we will automatically drive our focus and allocate time to the stuff that we love doing. Our passions, our values, our visions, positive goals that are set on what intrinsically motivating to us. Okay, that's important. When we're working with goals and motivation, if whatever you're working towards is not based on intrinsic motivation, if it's not based on what's really important to you, what is creating energy and a feeling of meaning and happiness in your life, it's based on the outer stuff, it's not going to be that motivating, and you will not automatically be focusing on it. So one huge secret to becoming more productive and really just making the whole thing with focus a lot more easier is to create a direction for your life, your work life, whatever, that is based on your values, your vision, what is important to you, and your passions. And as soon as you start aligning your passions, your values, your vision, and your goals, you will automatically become more motivated and more productive. Your focus will automatically be directed towards those things. So this is like a huge cheat code. If you want a focus that drives you towards goals, more productivity, set goals based on what is important to you. Set them on your intrinsic motivation. What is really creating a feeling of meaning and passion and energy in your life? So you might be wondering, okay, how do I know if the goal I have, the direction I've taken for my professional life or my personal life, if it is aligned to my values, my vision? What is my vision? Maybe you have no idea what your vision is. Maybe you have no idea what your values are. And this is completely fine. Most people don't know this until they've started digging into personal development. So it's completely fine. So where do you start if you have no idea what direction really to go in your life? The first place to start is by checking in what gives you energy and what drains your energy. What gives you a feeling of that life is meaningful? What gives you a feeling that you're just in a place where you're not supposed to be? That feeling that just like in your stomach, there's like this nut, this energy which is just being drained. When you tune in, when you listen in and check in with yourself, you will know, you'll feel it. Does this give me energy? Does this spark something on the inside? Does it spark joy? Does it give me energy? Does it give me a feeling of fulfillment, that life is meaningful, that I'm in the right place? Or does it give me that, that creepy feeling that goes like, oh, this is not right. I'm not in the right place. It's like, to me, it's sometimes that feeling that feels like life is over if I'm in a place that doesn't align with my values. It gives me that feeling of, this is it. Is this all what life is about? Is life over now? It's pretty uncomfortable feeling. It's just like everything that is good in life is just being sucked out of you. Okay. So when you start being aware, you'll notice where you get energy and where the energy is being drained. And this is where you start. And the more you align your life with those positive drivers, the values, the vision, your passions, everything that is fun in life, as soon as you start aligning your direction in your personal life, your career with this, you will automatically focus better, more constructive, and be focused on moving towards your goals and the direction you want to go. So this is a great cheat code. And then what is the other important part about your focus? Because there are two main parts. Yes, your focus is unconsciously driven and it's driving you towards all the positive drivers in your life. And the other part, which we need to be aware of and really need to work on in order to create a life we love living and in order to become more productive, we need to understand that the other part of our focus is driven towards keeping us safe. So our brain's main priority is to keep us safe. That means that our brain will scan our environment, scan our lives in order to see, is there anything dangerous there? Is there anything that I need to be aware of? And in doing that, your focus will obviously move away from where you want it to be towards wherever your brain thinks it needs to go in order to create you safe. So when you understand this, it'll be so much easier for you to stop it when it happens and bring your focus back to where you want it to be. Because to be honest, focus, yes, we need to understand that it's subconsciously driven and we need to practice bringing it back to where we want it to be. And when you understand the tricks of the mind, how it works and how you bring it back, this will be so easy for you. In performance coaching, we'll look at focus from this lens. As long as we remove distractions, we will be able to have the focus we need right here and right now. So what are the distractions? What are the things our brain wanders to in order to keep us safe? Well, there's so many things. So let's just start listing some of them. It can be all the mundane things in your daily life, the responsibilities, your car is breaking down, your kids are sick. There's so many things that your brain can wander off to because it thinks it is important. Everything that has to do with worrying about the future, controlling stuff, thinking about what other people are thinking about you, thinking about what you said was right or not, you should have done this or not, comparing yourself. Whenever your focus goes away from you, it is because your brain is trying to protect you, either by recognizing something you have to do or by recognizing other threats in your environment. And what are threats? Well, there can be so many threats, and it will differ a little bit from person to person depending on our background, our upbringing, our stories, and what triggers us, right? So wounds we have from our childhood, stuff we experienced in our childhood, it will trigger us and it will drive our focus all through life unless we become aware of what is happening. So if you, as a 5-year-old, were bitten by a dog, let's say that happened, and your brain immediately went, dogs are dangerous. Whenever there's a dog around you, your brain will go like, ooh, this is dangerous. You need to be aware. Alert, 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 alarm, alarm, alarm. Your focus is going to staying away from the dog, keeping safe, and all that stuff. So you have experienced so many things in your life throughout your childhood, and those things you experienced, they have created patterns, and those patterns are driving your behavior as an adult. And it is real important to become aware of this because this has a lot to do with where our focus goes, okay? For a lot of people, their focus goes towards thinking of stuff which is limiting. Really, everything they are worried about, everything they fear, all fears, all limitations. It is the thoughts that the black and white thoughts. It has to be like this. If not, blah, blah, blah. It is overthinking stuff. It is just every time your mind is spinning around something, every time your thoughts are at something else, not where you want them to be, not on the path that is leading you towards the future that you want to create, you're off track. Your focus is off track. And every time you'll know that it is only your brain trying to keep you safe, okay? It is doing that by helping you notice everything that could be dangerous in your life. Well, the thing is, there is so little stuff that is really dangerous in our Western society, right? We're living such a protected life. We have so much energy. We have so much stuff. And still, our brains, they function the way they have done for millions of years, and our reality was so much more dangerous a couple of million of years ago. Even just 500, 200 years ago, our lives, our realities were so dangerous, and our brains know that, and they're tuned into finding whatever is dangerous. If there's nothing dangerous, your brain will still be looking for it. It will create something. And this is where you get overthinking. This is where you get all the thoughts of, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? What did that person think about me? Maybe I should have done that instead. All the overthinking and all the thoughts, the rumination, the worrying, the overwhelm, all of that is driving your focus away from where you want it to be. You're still focusing. You're focusing all the time. You cannot not focus because your brain is created that way. It's like a missile. It is always driving towards something, a heat-seeking missile. It will be going on. It will be driving forward, seeking, seeking, seeking. That is how your brain is functioning. It will always be seeking for something. It will always be focusing on something. And what tends to happen is that all that dangerous stuff wins over the positive drivers. So yes, we will be allocating time and we will be focusing on the stuff that really makes us happy. But when we have a lot of other things going on in our life, our brains so easily go down that rabbit hole of focusing on everything that is limiting in our life, that we have so little time. There's so much to do. There's all this overwhelm, all these thoughts and worries, and I need to make this for dinner, and this report is due for Friday, and all that stuff. And what does it do? It steals your focus away from being productive. Why does your focus go off to the other side where you don't want it to be? Well, it's only your brain trying to keep you safe. So when you recognize that, you can stop your brain and you can bring it back to here and now, because it doesn't have to be ruminating and just like thinking about all that stuff, all that limiting stuff. It doesn't have to do that. It is just your brain on autopilot. So are you starting to grasp this idea? Does it sound right? Are you seeing the picture? Your brain will always pull your focus to where it thinks it is most needed. Where is your focus most needed according to your brain? It is to keep you safe. Well, you're saying, oh, I need to finish this report. I really want to build my business. I want to focus on writing my exams, whatever. And your brain goes, not a chance. And I'm not going to say that word. So your brain goes, no, that's not going to happen because the world is dangerous. I need your focus out there. And your focus goes off to wherever is dangerous. It's on you to bring your focus back. It's on you to recognize that, oh, all these thoughts, they don't contribute. They are just distractions. And I need to stop myself and bring my focus back. When I'm doing something I really need to focus on in order to get it done, like a big task, I visualize myself being handcuffed to the computer. Like there's no choice. I have to be there and my focus has to be there. And yes, I know this is using willpower, and I'm normally a person who says that willpower, just forget it and throw it out. And I think in terms of training our focus, we need to apply a little bit of willpower because it is a muscle. And when you practice it again again and again, it will get better, it will get stronger, and it will become easier. Just remember, you'll always be focusing on something, and it is unconsciously driven. And well, at least it has been up until now, right? Because now you know that when you become aware, you can change it because you don't have to let your focus go off everywhere else. So how do you overcome this focus trap, the brain that is just going off to all the things it thinks is dangerous? Well, number one, you hone in on your positive drivers. Align your life more and more with what is valuable to you and create a vision which is based on that. Set goals which are based on what is really, really valuable to you, what creates a feeling of meaning, that life is meaningful, what is fulfilling, what gives you energy. The more you put into your life of that stuff, the more all those good forces will drive away all those, let's call them evil forces. Then becoming aware that your brain will always wander off to everything it thinks is dangerous. And one of the strategies I use with my clients in order to train them to let go of all that negative focus is to build their self-esteem. Yeah, you heard it right. They need to build their self-esteem. Because what happens if you have low self-esteem? Well, your brain will think that you're in danger. Because low self-esteem means that we think that we're not that valuable, that we're less than other people, that we're not enough. And this is the biggest threat to your brain. And why is that? Well, your brain is there to keep you safe. And it knows that you will be safe if you're part of your tribe. Remember, I told you that life was so dangerous before? And your brain knows that. It knows that if you're not part of the tribe, you won't survive a single day, or maybe one day, but at least not two. So your brain knows this. So it will do everything it can to make sure that you are part of the tribe. Okay. So if you think that you're not as valuable as other people, your brain will go, that is dangerous, because if you're not valuable, that means you could be pushed out of your tribe, because if you're not valuable to the tribe, they don't need you. Why should they keep you there? So if that is you, if you on some level think that you're not worthy, you're not lovable, you're not enough, that you have a little bit of low self-esteem like most people have, well, it's normal then that your brain will go off and focus on whatever is dangerous, because if you don't have that feeling of safety and security inside of you, that feeling only comes from feeling valuable, knowing that you're enough. So if you don't know that you're enough, if you don't feel really valuable, you will feel unsafe inside of you. Your brain will be like, oh, the world is dangerous. And if the brain thinks that the world is dangerous, what do you think it has to do? Well, it needs to really go out and find all the potential threats in order to keep you safe. So in order to make the process of training your focus on being where you want it is important that you build your self-esteem, because if you don't build your self-esteem, you'll have to fight your brain every day, because your brain will go, you're in danger. I need to keep you safe. That's why I need to focus on everything that is dangerous around you. Overthinking, worrying, what other people are thinking about me, shame and guilt and all that stuff. Your focus will go there because your brain thinks you're in danger. So you need to build your self-esteem. You need to start believing that you are enough, because you are enough, and I want you to know that. If you like that one, I'm sure that you'll enjoy this one too.